Some of the most important lessons in life are also the hardest ones to hear. They're often called karwa such, the bitter truths. They challenge us, they make us pretty uncomfortable, but they also have this incredible power to fundamentally change how we navigate our lives. So today, we're going to explore a few of them. Now, that's a pretty confrontational way to start, and for good reason. These ideas aren't meant to be comfortable. They're meant to be true. They really push back against what we want to believe. So with that in mind, let's jump into the most fundamental truth of all. So, our journey has to begin by looking inward. Before we can even begin to understand our place with other people, we first have to face the reality of our own solitary existence. There's a bluntness to this that's just hard to ignore, isn't it? It strips away all the noise and reminds us of one core fact. From birth to death, your journey is yours alone. The consequences of your actions, both the good and the bad, are ultimately yours to carry. So if our path is truly our own, why do we spend so much of our energy worrying about what will people say? This lifelong habit of looking for outside approval isn't just a small distraction, it's probably the main thing that pulls us away from living our own truth. And this just illustrates the point perfectly. Just think about how much energy we burn worrying about what others think. But this quote points to the final, sobering reality. At the end of it all, that whole chorus of opinions just fades away into one single simple phrase. It's a pretty stark reminder of where our focus should probably be. Okay, so if our journey is fundamentally a solo one, what does that mean for our relationships with other people? How are we supposed to navigate things like trust and loyalty and all the risks that come with basically every human connection? This next section kicks off with a bit of a cliffhanger. It's suggesting that in this whole complicated dance of human interaction, there is one core rule we have to understand for our own well-being. So what is it? And there you have it. That's a piece of advice that feels incredibly harsh, doesn't it? It goes against so much of what we're taught about being vulnerable. But the logic here is really rooted in self-preservation. The idea that a secret, once you share it, is no longer yours to control, and it could be used against you. But this doesn't mean you should just cut everyone off. It means you have to be smart, be strategic. And the principle for doing that is beautifully simple, really. It's a two-step code. First, never, ever lie to someone who puts their trust in you. And second, never trust someone who lies to you. It's all about reciprocity. Now, right after we get that clear rule, we get hit with this paradox. It suggests that absolute, completely unfiltered honesty can actually make you a target. It's like the tallest, straightest tree in the forest. Being too upright can attract the axe. It's a really challenging idea that forces us to think about the fine line between honesty and, strategic wisdom. Here's another one of those bitter pills to swallow. This idea suggests that, for a lot of people, our value is conditional. We're special only until a replacement comes along. It's a cynical take, for sure, but there's a warning in it. If your self-worth is totally built on being irreplaceable to others, you're building it on some very unstable ground. Okay, so let's zoom out a bit, from our one-on-one relationships to the wider world of society. And this is where the contradictions and the unwritten rules start to become even more obvious. I just love this comparison because it's so sharp. A chameleon adapts to its environment to survive. It's pure instinct. This, however, argues that humans often adapt their principles and their behaviors not for survival, but for personal gain, for opportunity. It's a subtle difference, but a pretty profound one. And right here, the contradictions are just laid bare. We want heaven, but we don't want to die. We have all the time in the world for strangers online, but not for our parents right next door. The attention you get is based on your status, not your words. A woman's torn clothes reveal her body, not her poverty. And in men's fights, the insults are directed at their mothers and sisters. These aren't just random observations. They're the unwritten, hypocritical rules that so often govern our society. Wow, what a sobering, powerful thought. In a world that's so obsessed with status, this presents death as the ultimate equalizer. It is the one fate that wealth can't buy its way out of, the one reality that just dissolves every single artificial hierarchy we build. So, after looking at ourselves, our relationships, and society, we come to our final theme. After everything is said and done, how is our story actually told? And maybe more importantly, who gets to be the narrator? This might be the most difficult truth of all to accept. You can't control the narrative of you in someone else's mind. Your kindness can be twisted into weakness, your strength into aggression. You can do everything right, and still, you'll be the villain in their story. And accepting that is both incredibly difficult and, strangely, incredibly freeing. And this brings us right to our final provocative question. After accepting all these bitter truths, that you walk alone, that trust is a risk, that society is contradictory, and that you can't control how you're perceived, what's left? The only thing left is your own story. The actions you take,